So hi and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a review of another garage therapy product, shock, and that is this one here. So this is their maintenance pH neutral shampoo. So if you don't know anything about the range, basically they have a zero range, it's called, that has decontamination products that you obviously use to either before applying more paint protection or actually to sort of correct the paintwork, something you would use to kind of start from scratch, not something you would use on a regular maintenance wash. And then they have this shampoo, which is in the one range, and this is the paintwork shampoo, basically just the general car shampoo. And then they have the one behind me, which is their wheel shampoo as well. So they actually have 3 shampoos in the range, so they all have a kind of a different sort of function. So this is the one that you would use on your regular maintenance washes. So it doesn't look like I've used that much of this, but don't worry, I have used this I think 3 times now. You don't need a lot of this, so that's why it looks like I've barely touched it, but I have done quite a bit of testing and you will sort of see that on the clips that I'll show over the video. So I'll pop it down. Basically I just wanted to sort of talk about a few different areas which I think are really important for a shampoo, and basically how well this kind of performed in each area. So first, starting off with the actual lubrication and the kind of suds. So there's a little bit of a sort of trade-off really, which is something I didn't really know up until quite recently, that basically you can have really lubricated shampoo that's very safe to use on the paintwork, and it's just going to help obviously your wash mitt glide over the paint, so you're less likely to cause scratches and swirls and things like that. And then you also have your suds, which obviously is more like the foam. And apparently there is a little bit of a trade-off, that you can't have something that's incredibly well lubricated and it will have basically very little suds, from what I've heard anyway. So what I liked about this shampoo is it does sort of have kind of a good balance between them, so it felt incredibly safe to use on the paintwork. When you sort of using your wash mitt, it slips basically over the paintwork. You've got to be careful not to drop it, but it works really well. It has that sort of glide action, and it's very kind of slick. It's the word I've used to describe it, and I've definitely seen a lot of other people use that word to describe basically every product in Carriage Therapy's range. But also with that, it's not a shampoo that like you sort of add the power washer to the bucket and try to foam it up and it just doesn't foam. It's not like that at all. You get that kind of balance of suds and lubrication, so it's a nice shampoo to use. It feels safe, but it just has enough suds so you basically, it feels nice to work with as well. So it definitely does well in terms of that. It feels safe, which is one of the sort of main things I'm looking for a maintenance shampoo really. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the sort of cleaning power. Now this is less important really for this kind of pH neutral maintenance shampoo. It's more something you would look for, that decontamination shampoo, if you were looking for something with high cleaning power. This does absolutely fine at cleaning the paintwork. I haven't tested it on anything incredibly filthy because I would always do a proper pre-wash snow foam first. So I can't say that it's amazing at removing dirt off like incredibly filthy vehicles, because that's just not it's not the products I would use for that. I would use something that's, you know, sort of specifically looking to do that. I would use Zero, which is the rubber shampoo designed for the paintwork, or I would use a snow foam instead beforehand. So cleaning power, it works how you would on a regular maintenance wash. It's removing water spots, it's removing the dirt that's left behind after the pre-wash. I've not had any issues. It cleans well, but I haven't tested it in terms of like on absolutely disgusting cars, because that's just not what I would use a pH neutral car shampoo for. But I just wanted to touch on it just so you know. So another thing that I wanted to really talk about is the finish it leaves behind. So I know there's different shampoos out there, some that have sort of gloss enhancing agents, some that are designed to even sort of leave a hydrophobic layer on the paint. This isn't that. This is just a pure shampoo basically. What it's going to do is just going to clean the paintwork really well and leave absolutely nothing behind, so it's residue free effectively. And that is what I look for personally with a maintenance shampoo. I like the coatings that I put on, so I actually have 3, which is the ceramic sealant on. I like that coating, that sort of sealant, and I don't want to put a shampoo on that's just going to mask it with sort of tons of gloss enhancing agents or other kind of coatings. That's not what I'm looking for. But if you are looking for that, then this isn't going to be the shampoo for you. If you're looking for something that's pure and that's just going to clean the paintwork and leave nothing behind, then this is really, really good. It rinses off very well. It doesn't leave any kind of residue or sort of finish behind, which is what I look for on my sort of pH neutral shampoos that I'm using. Another thing that I did want to talk about as well was the actual stability of the foam. So this is not the biggest factor in the world, but it's something I do look for. I think there's a lot of shampoos on the market, so I wanted to kind of go through each category and talk about it, because it can be quite hard to narrow it down. It does come to little things like this a lot of the time, as to whether one shampoo is sort of better than the other. But what I did notice with this is that the foam stability is very, very strong actually. So I did a test, just a little test to myself, but I filled up my wash bucket with this shampoo, and then I went and still foamed the car. I did the wheels on the car, and I rinsed all that off, sort of faffing about for about 10-15 minutes, probably about 20-25 minutes before I actually got to washing the car, after filling up the bucket. And then after the wash process as well, I looked in the bucket and there was still foam in there. It wasn't one of those where you felt like you had to sort of spray it again to kind of sort of revive it and get that foam back. It stayed sort of pretty much as it was when you initially put it in. So the foam stability is actually very strong with this one, which I really liked. Another thing that I really wanted to talk about, which is a very, very important thing to a lot of people, and it is to me as well, but that is the actual dilution ratio. So in terms of how much you would actually use in your bucket, now Garage Therapy say on the back of the bottle, they talk about gallons, which I work in litres, so I had to go and convert it. But basically I worked out in about 20 litres, or just over 20 litres, you would need about 20 ml is what kind of recommendation it is, as when I did my conversion on Google. And basically that works out, if you're using 20 litres, 20 ml, that works out as 1,000 to 1. So 1,000 parts of water and 1 part of this shampoo. So if you've looked on the market, you might have seen other shampoos talking about like 1,900 to 1 or 2,000 to 1. And that would suggest that these have a sort of better dilution ratio than this product. On paper, I would say there's no arguing that that is what it works out at. However, I've used shampoos in the past that sort of claim, and things like Carchem Super Suds, which I do really like, I do still like. Built Hamber Auto Wash is another shampoo that I've used. Those claim to have a better dilution ratio than this, but from what I've found, to get that proper lubrication and those proper suds going, you probably need a bit more than what they would initially recommend. So for me, the amount that I would use in the bucket is quite similar to those other ones, despite the fact it sounds like you would have to use roughly double. So it's one of those, it might not sound like the sort of most concentrated products in the world, but in terms of sort of my kind of real world experience, I found that this is quite up there with, in terms of dilution ratio. You don't need a lot of this to actually get the full effect really. So it says 20 ml in 20 litres. I don't use that much because I have a tiny car and I don't need that much. I don't need 20 litres. I probably use somewhere between 10 and 15. So really what I would say about this is, although the dilution ratio on paper might not look sort of groundbreaking, you actually don't need a lot of this, so I wouldn't let that put you off if you were looking at other shampoos that are sort of claiming these absolutely crazy dilution ratios. They might be fine to work at that, and this, if I'm honest, they could probably get away with saying use 10 ml in 20 litres and people would probably still be quite happy with it, and it would kind of be similar to what I've seen sort of other products like Auto Wash and like Super Suds to sort of claim, but they've gone quite conservative with this and said 20 ml in 20 litres. And I think that gives you basically spot on the right amount. So I just wanted to sort of mention that about dilution ratio. So the next thing that kind of comes with that is the actual cost per wash, because personally I wouldn't mind chucking 2 litres of shampoo in the wash bucket if it costed pennies, and it worked out cheaper. I don't mind. It's really kind of the cost per wash that's the sort of the most important thing kind of from that dilution ratio. So I've done some calculations, and if you're using 20 ml per wash, then you're going to work out, if you buy in the 500 ml version, which is £10, which is probably one that most people, if you've not tried it before, are going to go for. This one I've got. Basically that would work out as 40p per wash. I don't use quite as much of that. I use around probably 10 to 15 ml, and that that's obviously going to work out cheaper, but it's probably about 30p for me to wash the car with that. So it's got a pretty good cost per wash. You can use more or less, it's completely up to you, but that's sort of where you're working out. If you're getting the 500ml one, you're probably going to get about 25 washes. If you've got a reasonably large car, I'm probably going to get more, sort of like 30, 35. We're getting to the point where we're splitting hairs with the calculations here, but the cost per wash is quite low. So that sort of wraps it up a little bit. I did absolutely love using this shampoo. It smells great as well, which is something that I completely forgot to mention. It's to me got kind of a berry scent. I have no idea whether that's what Garage Therapy were going for, but it has got kind of that kind of blue colour. It smells like what you think it'll smell like, and that's probably going to mean absolutely nothing. I don't even know why I said that. To me, it's got that kind of blueberry sort of smell, a bit like slushes. I don't know, I'm just going on now. Anyway, it's not like me to ramble, is it? But yeah, so basically very, very solid shampoo. It feels really nice to use. Dilution ratio solid, cost per wash is really good. The suds to the lubrication, it does everything right, this one. So I would definitely recommend it if you are looking for a pH neutral shampoo and you just want something quite high quality that's not absolutely ridiculously expensive. £10 for 500ml is about market average from what I've seen. Then give this one a go. I think it's very, very solid shampoo to go for. I have got some links to other Garage Therapy products that I've tried in the description, so I will leave links to all those. I've got quite a few behind me now. I've got a little bit of a collection. So just to mention, actually, Garage Therapy, Mazda Garage Therapy did send this product out to me. However, all what I've said in this video is completely honest, come from proper testing that I've done, the way I would test all other products that I've tried. It's just my kind of honest opinion of how it performs, so I just wanted to mention it though. But yeah, so I have got links to other Garage Therapy products. I would definitely check them out. Really sort of high quality. I know a lot of people are recommending this kind of brand at the moment, but they're just doing everything right, it seems. The quality is really there, so check out those if you're interested and you want to place an order with them. I would recommend it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I haven't really seen anyone who has been. But thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it and enjoyed listening to me go on. If you have made it through this far, then thanks very much. It'd be fantastic if you could give this video a like. Really appreciate it. Comment down below, have you tried this shampoo? Are you looking to get this one? Have you tried any others? I really like hearing people's kind of thoughts on the products. And subscribe if you're not already, because if you've made it this far through the video, then I definitely think it's worth a subscribe, because my channel is absolutely full of rambles like this. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.